Hello, Facebook and YouTube. What is happening? Gonzalo here. Thursday night Course in Miracles at the St. Petersburg, Florida, USA Temple of the Living God. Thank you for checking this video out. I appreciate everybody tuning in, however you do, wherever you do. So thank you. Deep appreciation for this experience with Holy Spirit and Jesus, of being able to share and, more importantly, practice at a deep level the truth of the Course in Miracles. That's been so incredibly, unspeakably liberating for me and so many others. And it's very easy to get caught up in concepts and theory, which is not what we want to do. We need the concepts, yes. We need the theory, yes. But more than anything else, we need to apply what the concepts and theory say, what Jesus says in the Course in Miracles. That's the most important thing. We're talking to a sister tonight during group that how it looks doesn't matter. Yes, our minds are so undisciplined in our ego tendencies that we do need structure, which the Course gives us that. We do need routine to discipline our minds, because the Course does give us that. But how that looks needs to come from not us, but from the Holy Spirit, Jesus. Not us. We don't come up with our routines and our structures how we want to do, because if we do that, then again the ego is just going to get its tentacles in and slow us down. The ego is very intent on delaying us. The ego is very intent on throwing us in loops, and its constant delay tactics to get us fearful and feeling like we have to adhere to a routine, feeling like we have to feel guilty because we're not doing our course practice a certain way. And it's just another delay tactic from the ego. It's so important, speaking of huge time saver, that we turn over everything during the day, like we talked about tonight a lot, including and especially including our practice of the Course in Miracles. How much we read, how much of the lessons we read. We do need to do them every day, but how much, how they look, how often during the day. Let Holy Spirit guide you through that. Let Holy Spirit Jesus walk you through the specifics of how we're experiencing it. Because there is structure in those lessons, but really the nuts and bolts experience of it, how we format it for our personal experience during the day and everybody's schedule, looks different because it appears on the surface that our lives are different. So just let Holy Spirit Jesus be in charge of those details, just as much as all the other details during the day. We talked a lot tonight, which is really good, about turning over our complete experience to the Holy Spirit Jesus. I shared when I used to hear as a kid, I used to hear from the preacher said, you got to be willing to lose your life and turn it all over to God. I used to get scared because I didn't want to lose my life as an ego. I liked my life as a person. I liked my life as a personality, so I thought. And I didn't want to turn it over. I didn't want to turn over all of my decision making, all of my planning, all of my ambitions, all of my striving, all of my likes and dislikes, all of my judgments, all of my attacks, and turn them all over to the mind of God. I didn't want to do that because I thought, mistakenly, but I thought that I was doing a good job with my life. And so now, losing our life, some might call it the daily dying. The Shack says that. Losing our life takes on a whole deeper meaning. Losing our life means losing the life of the ego. Losing our life means effectively killing the ego. Even though the ego in truth is nothing, killing the investment in that belief of our ego identity and fully allowing Holy Spirit to come into our experience and fill up our minds and our hearts. Fully allowing Jesus to take over all of the details of our experience. What plan should I have? Give them to Jesus. What ambitions or striving should I have? Give them to Jesus. And let those things be shown to us, not of our own making. What specifics during the day should I be doing? What should I say? What should I do? What clothes should I wear? What food should I eat? What routine should I partake in? Let Jesus be in complete control of every single inch of our experience. Are we willing to turn over every single inch of our experience during the day to the Holy Spirit, Jesus, the one who knows to handle everything? And again, it doesn't mean we lay on the couch all day and eat cookies. What it means is that when we go through the day, that we go through it with a different guide. Not the voice of insanity saying you have to follow and do what everybody else is doing. Not the voice of insanity that's saying, look around at what everybody else is doing. You better be doing that too, Gonzalo. Not the voice of insanity that says, what are people going to think of you if you do that? What are people going to think? What are they going to think of you? That constant chatter that's getting us to delay ourselves back into ego investment here, which has not worked out for us, if we're honest with us. Are we willing to turn over every single thought, good and bad, to the Holy Spirit, Jesus, for guidance and reinterpretation and reclarification for what really our purpose is here? Just how total are we willing to lose our life as a personality, as a person in this world? To lose our identification as a personality, as a person, as a man, as a black man, as a Latino man, as a educated man, as a person in this world who, as a professional, as a person who has things in the world, as a person who does things in the world, as a person who has family and partner and interactions with them. Am I willing to turn all of that identity that I think is so me and give it to the one that knows to show me who I really am? Not that any of our worldly stuff has to be bad or good, but if we identify with it, according to Jesus in the Course, if we identify ourselves with an identity in the world that we have to defend so readily, we know if we're practicing that road leads to zero. We know that identifying in a worldly sense of identity, a personal identity, that leads to zero. We know by looking out at the world and looking at all the billions of examples in the world, that those who practice that worldly belief that we claim to be so real and so true of our personal identity, that if we practice that, which we've done our whole lives here in this world, it leads to zero and misery and no peace of God and no love of God and no perfect happiness, if we're honest with ourselves. We have a lot of stuff in the world practicing that ego belief. We have a lot of material wealth practicing that ego belief. We have a lot of busyness practicing that ego belief. We have a lot of stuff to do practicing that ego belief of stay busy, stay busy, stay busy. Why, Gonzalo? Because everybody else is staying busy. What are you going to do? Just be at peace? Are you going to just go through your life not taking charge of your life? Look around what everybody else does. You're going to have to, you need a plan. You need to take control of your life. That's a joke. Because everybody else, it's competition out there. Who are you competing against? What are you afraid of? Why do we need to compete to seek validation, to seek approval in this world? We need some deep inner honesty about who is in charge of our lives. And until we have that within, then we're going to continue to chase and seek and do not find. Until we have some deep inner honesty in our lives about how that belief system in the ego world of seek and hustle and strive and ambition has led us to not the peace of God, of not having the love of God, of not having the consistent joy of God. Again, I'm looking out at the world, practicing that ego belief of struggle, strive, ambition, sacrifice, struggle, strive, ambition, sacrifice. Struggle, strive, ambition, sacrifice. I'm looking out at the world. I do not see a lot of smiling faces. Show me the proof. Jerry Maguire, show me the money that ego belief system that says I have to strive and sacrifice and struggle and ambition and goal set, that has actually paid off with perfect peace and the perfect love of God and perfect joy. Even conditional joy. How long does it last practicing that ego belief that the rest of the world is telling me to strangle myself with? We need deep inner honesty with Spirit, with the One, to truly, truly change our experience here. We need deep willingness to truly change our experience here. And unless we're willing to have that, We're just going to be going in circles with the ego's delay tactics. A deep, 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 deep inner honesty. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I will close with letting you know that if we want to get to that place of honesty, that we need to walk through it with the Holy Spirit Jesus. We need to really confront those hang-ups, those thoughts, those things in our closets that we are deathly afraid of looking at, that we are deathly afraid of other people looking at, and really confront them face to face with the Holy Spirit Jesus, to really walk into and free ourselves from the darkness of the ego, which it does not want us to look at, and definitely does not want us to expose. It is a necessary step, a required step really, to get to that firm, knowing, certainty, belief of our identity in God. It's only a step, but it's a very essential step, that we expose the ego's hang-ups that are weighing us down, to give ourselves what we truly, truly believe in, which is that perfect light of God. We have to do the work up here and in here, and in a brutally honest way within ourselves, to be able to get full release from this prison called the ego world. Anyway, thank you so much. Saturday, March 27th, the Course in Miracles retreat. Next one, Tampa Bay Course in Miracles retreat, right here at the St. Petersburg Temple of the Living God. Saturday, March 27th, all day. Hit me up on Facebook or on the comment section in YouTube, and I can get you the information, or just contact the Temple of the Living God in St. Pete and Reverend Carmen. Then you can RSVP with her. The price is usually $30. It might be a little bit more this time, but we'll let you know before March 27th. And thank you. I'm deeply grateful. I'm bursting with joy and appreciation. I can't even tell you. So if I can't tell you in words, give yourself the chance to have that experience of bursting with the joy of spirit, of just teeming over with the joy of spirit and the light of spirit. Give yourself that experience by putting the work in, if you're called to really do that work in the course with Holy Spirit Jesus. Thank you. Have a beautiful evening and a beautiful weekend of practice. Love you all.